Yeah. Your mic's going to be hot here. At least to YouTube, and then they'll give us the go on Facebook.
And you are now live to YouTube.
All right, you should be seeing our picture shortly. We are live on our end. Go. Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. Hey, welcome. It is Wednesday, early afternoon here. Meteorologist Matt Wintz live with our Flying Peacock crew. And we are out in Ashtabula County. We're out in Williamsfield where they had the EF2 tornado on Sunday. And we want to take our Flying Peacock and obviously give you some angles to the storm that we can't get just here on the ground. We've already taken some video of this. We've seen kind of what we've been looking at from this tornado in terms of damage, and it's just incredible what we've seen out here. Now, what you're looking at right here, this is the structure closest to where we are. Obviously just destroyed. I mean, we've got roofs ripped off right in the path of this tornado as it went through on Sunday, but just look at the devastation. I mean, it doesn't just encompass the homes, it encompasses all the property around here as well, as a lot of that material was flown around. So just to kind of bring you up to speed on what we were dealing with on Sunday, this happened around 6:51 out here in Williamsfield. And if you're unfamiliar with Ashtabula County, we are in the far southeastern corner of the county. We're about a mile away from the Pennsylvania-Ohio border. So it's about as extreme eastern half of our viewing area as you get. And pretty rural area out here, lots of farmland. But you know, no stranger to severe weather. They get, you know, when you have this flat land, you don't have a lot of friction with some of these thunderstorms. And you know, we had straight line wind damage, but this has been confirmed by the National Weather Service. And you have to agree, just looking at some of this damage, it definitely was a tornado, and they rated it as an EF2. Now, we had 14 confirmed tornadoes on Sunday across the viewing area, 13 in Ohio. There's actually one on the Pennsylvania side of things up in Erie. But out of those 14, this was the strongest tornado to hit, with winds estimated at 127 miles per hour. The EF2 category goes from 115, or actually 111, I think, to 135. So this would be a kind of a moderate EF2 tornado. So look at some of this footage. The Weather Service comes out and surveys these. We can't call it a tornado until they actually survey it. They have kind of rhyme and reason around the damage reports that they look at. They can see how things are twisted. They can see, you know, if it's just straight line wind damage. And there's some twisting of some of the things around here. We saw some silo tops that were just thrown some 100 to 200 yards from their structures. And obviously what you're looking at is aerial footage of this from the Flying Peacock. And I mean, look at that home. The roof completely ripped off of what looks to be a barn behind that structure. The trees just flattened. Some of these metal roofing structures from the silos out here weren't just thrown off, they were twisted. So obviously there was you know, something more than straight line winds going on here. But I mean, these are folks' homes, and this is their property you're looking at, and the cleanup isn't going to happen overnight. I mean, they're working out here. We've seen a lot of people out, you know, burning some of the trees, some of the wood that they have, you know, in burn barrels, and there's just so much work that needs to be done. I mean, just look at that barn, just completely collapsed. The car that's in there with all that damage as well. I mean, it's going to take forever just to clean up a small portion of that for some of these families. They've got the tarp on the roof there. I mean, just you can't live in that, right? Especially with some of the cold we have coming in here over the next couple days and potentially some snowfall. But just a devastating scene. And you know, a lot of people question when we go on air for tornado coverage. And guys, this is the reason why we do it. Our job is to protect life and property. And this is just one of those situations that you know, this is why we aim to protect you guys. So definitely a scary situation here in Williamsfield. But as we continue to show you images from the Flying Peacock, We've seen some residents out here. It seems like pretty much everyone is helping out neighbors. I mean, that's just kind of the vibe we get. There's a lot of large families out here just helping out in the lawns. Thank goodness it's a beautiful day. We've got lots of sunshine. It's a little cool, but something you'd expect for this time of year. So it seems that they are out trying to fix things up and get the city pulled back together again. Now look at some of the views that we showed earlier of the road crews out there, all the power crews that are out. These streets, right now we're on 322, which is also known as Williamsfield Road here in town. They're just littered in electric company trucks just helping to restore power, get the power lines back together again. Last check, and there you go. There's a view of all the road crews that are out here just in droves. And guys, this is a small section you're looking at. We've been kind of all around town here, and there's several sections of road crews just working on the power lines across town. So this is just kind of a small scope of just the cleanup they have to deal with in this small community of Williamsfield. So this is 322 that you're looking at. It's the main route east and west out of town. The worst of the damage, and that's where we are, is east of Route 7. So Route 7 is the north and south road that goes right through the middle of Williamsfield. So we're just east of that. That appears to be where the worst damage is. It is pretty consistent. The Weather Service has, surveyed this whole entire scene, and it's 7 miles long worth of damage. That's how long the tornado was estimated to be on the ground, and at its biggest width, about 150 yards wide. So that's a football field and a half, folks. That's how wide this tornado was, at least the wind damage from it. So pretty incredible in terms of that. They estimated also 20 homes were damaged. We're looking at some of those now. We've seen on this street maybe 10 to 11 homes that were damaged. I mean, just look at the devastation. There are 2x4s and plywood just thrown across these lawns. And you can see some of that smoke from the top. I mean, when you have all this wood to get rid of, you either sell it or you burn it, and that's what they're doing there. But, I mean, just look at that devastating scene there. Now, the good news is, haven't heard of any confirmed injuries or deaths, and that is obviously the goal in these situations when we have these severe weather events, is just to keep everyone safe, and that is the good things. I mean, these things can be replaced, right? But lives cannot, so we are just thankful that that seems to be the case from this storm as it went through. Again, there were 14 tornadoes confirmed by the Weather Service across Northeast Ohio on Sunday, and this was the strongest out of all of them. It was an EF2 on the enhanced Vegeta scale, and that means winds were anywhere between 111 and 135, and they estimated these winds to be at 127. So we talk hurricane force winds, right, in the 70 mile per hour range. That would be a hurricane, folks. This is much stronger than a hurricane, and it's in a more concentrated area, and that is just a sign of some of the damage of what these powerful storms can do. So some of the other damage reports we've had around the area were straight line winds. Obviously, we had just some I think we're over 100,000 people without power at one point Sunday night. And not all that was from tornadoes. A lot of that was from damaging winds and straight line winds, which can be equally as dangerous and produce results almost as bad as what you're looking at right now. And so that's why, you don't need a tornado warning to take a storm seriously. When the Weather Service issues severe thunderstorm warnings, it's equally as important, because this kind of stuff can happen with just thunderstorms. It doesn't have to be a tornado. So I feel like we sometimes get a little numb with severe thunderstorm warnings. It's just a severe thunderstorm. Well, the damage can be equally significant. So you're looking at shots right now from our Flying Peacock here at Channel 3, some aerial footage. We can obviously see, from the ground, some of the extent of this damage, but the Flying Peacock just gives us views that we can simply not get from the ground. And you can see kind of the path of where that tornado took. You're looking at that road right there, 322, main east and west thoroughfare through Williamsfield, which is in the extreme southeastern half of Ashtabula County, out east of Cleveland here. So lots of damage from that. Power crews have been working, I would assume, since Sunday night, but they are out here on 322 trying to get things pulled together. Looking at the power map, we were looking at the power outage map earlier, and it seemed like only 2 people were without power in the entire county. That was estimated, which is amazing. So I would assume there is power in those lines. They're just trying to connect them maybe to some of these homes that were damaged. But I guarantee there's no power in some of these homes that are just destroyed by that tornado. So you're looking at a small portion right now. This storm went on, this tornado was 7 miles long. It was on the ground for 7 miles. We're looking at, maybe half a mile to 3/4 of a mile here on the Flying Peacock, but definitely a scary situation for those out here in southeastern Ashtabula County, for many of you that had the tornado warnings on Sunday night. So there's kind of a zoomed out view now. Thank goodness it's a beautiful day. We've got lots of sunshine. In fact, we had some clouds up towards Cleveland and the lakeshore, but as soon as we got south of that lake, things really cleared up. We've got beautiful conditions here. It's a beautiful fall-like day, which, it could be a lot worse, right, in terms of cleanup this time of year. So thank goodness that we have just some calm, clear conditions for these crews to do what they do best, and that is to respond to these situations that we have out here. So you can see some of the road crews out there now, several chunks of these road crews. I mean, this is one little caravan that they have here, but there's other ones down the street. There's other ones on the south side of town as well. But some of these structures are really, really bad. So there's a view of it. You just don't know what to say looking at that. I mean, it is just absolute destruction for some of these structures that are out here. And, it really is, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. I know that's a cliche thing, but honestly, if you could say a prayer for these people and send them your warm wishes, they definitely need it, because these are their lives that are being disrupted by, obviously, Mother Nature, right? Look at some of that structure. Roof just totally collapsed within that, just shattered and thrown. I mean, the lawn is there somewhere, right? There's some tires there. We saw a car in there earlier. Everyone has been reported to be okay out of this, so that's, obviously the best thing. So, just incredible. And this is one of 20 structures that we have determined have been destroyed from the Weather Service's survey that they had out here yesterday. But that storm came on the ground for 7 miles, winds at max speed 127 as it blew through here, and it just will take any standing structure and really just go to town on it. So guys, that's a look from above from our Flying Peacock of some of the damage out here in Williamsfield, southeastern half of Ashtabula County. One of 14 tornadoes that struck northeast Ohio and northwestern Pennsylvania on Sunday. So we're going to wrap it up here. We'll bring you some more on WKYC tonight at 6, 7, and 11. We've also got some snow in the forecast as well. So Betsy and Michael and I and Holly are all going to keep you updated on that tonight as well.